Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily Gogetemism number 162 for March 16, 2015. Today, I want to talk about things that people do as far as neighbors are concerned. Are you neighborly with your neighbors? Do you allow your neighbors to come into your house? Do you kick it with your neighbors? Do you talk to them? When you come on the block from work or whatever, or wherever you're coming from, do you bust it up with your neighbors for a little while? Talk about things. Do y'all have anything in common? Or do you act standoffish when you come on the block because you don't trust people or you don't like the way that people act around your neighborhood? It can have different outcomes depending on the way that you treat people. The way you treat people, if you don't treat them like the way that you want to be treated, you can find yourself getting treated poorly just as well. You know, when neighbors are in good with each other, they do certain things for each other. They look out for each other. They do right by each other. You know, when neighbors feel good about other neighbors, they hang out with each other. They might have some things in common. Maybe they drink. Maybe they both smoke. Maybe they have kids that play with each other and get along with each other in that regard. Maybe they go to school with each other. Maybe y'all work in the same type of field, or y'all have some other things in common. Maybe y'all know some people. Um, Maybe y'all have some friends in common or family members, things like that. When neighbors feel good about each other, they hang out with each other. They invite each other to their functions. So if they having a housewarming or just a party get together, things like that, and they know they're going to be making a lot of noise and hooting and hollering and all of that, they might invite their other neighbors so everybody can join in the party so the cops don't get involved. That sort of thing. And you're probably only going to do that if you like your neighbors anyway. Other than that, you'll take your chances. But when neighbors like each other, you know what I'm saying, they make sure they invite them to the cookout. They they make sure that they look out for them. If you go on vacation or something like that, you want to make sure that your possessions don't leave you just because you went out of town. And a good neighbor will look out for your stuff. You make sure that nobody don't run up in your crib if you live in that type of neighborhood. And it doesn't even really matter what neighborhood you live in. Anybody can get got. Anybody. Alarm system, it don't matter. People know their way around that kind of stuff, and sometimes people prey on people when they know that they aren't home and they're not going to get caught. A good neighbor will look out for you. I know the people on my block looked out for me. Plenty of times I had to go out of town, and people, you know, I have friends on the block, next door neighbor, my man across the street, they looked out for me. That's a good look, because I live in North Philly. It gets real. I can go either way. But because I'm in good with my neighbors, I look out for them and they look out for me. And they have done it and they proved that we are good like that. You know, things like when the kids went on when the kids go on their the prom send off parties and graduations, weddings. I've been invited to those types of things because I'm down with my neighbors. We don't necessarily go in each other's cribs and hang out and do that sort of thing, but we are able to do that. If I was able to help them with something in their home, like something was broken, and I had the expertise or the know-how in order to fix it, I go wait and hook them up, and they've done the same thing for me. You know, Neighbors can be a very good resource for things like mechanic work. Fixing a roof, leaky faucets, that sort of thing. Maybe he can find a way to hook you up. Sometimes you might fall on hard times, and if you live in a neighborhood where falling on hard times can really take you down. Let's say your utilities get cut off. They cut off your lights. I've seen it where the neighbors allow other neighbors to run an extension cord through the crib, so you can have lights. So you can run your electric heaters and things like that. If your gas get cut off, things like that. They lend each other things. When neighbors are in good with each other, they lend each other things. So those DVDs. Let me hold that movie, um, video games, whatever. You know what I'm saying? On the strength of that utility thing. You know what I mean? There was a time when I had my own business, and the business owner next door to us had his water cut off, and he couldn't get his water cut back on because of some type of litigation that was going on. So he couldn't run a business without water. So what we did is we knocked a hole in his wall, and we connected his water to our water line, and he had water. And he paid us a little bit of money every month, just like he would pay the water company. We looked out. That's what neighbors do. It's the same thing with that electricity. If you want to run the line, from somebody's house to your house, you got to break them off a little bit of money so they can pay their electric bill for helping you out until you can get back right. It happens. Neighbors know how to do things. They know how to hook up things, and they'll hook you up if you let them know that y'all friendly like that. Y'all brown. Y'all down and brown, and you want to be down and brown with your neighbors. Some people are a little bit snooty. They don't want to, or they're private. They don't really want to deal with people on their block because they don't want to. They don't want them to know what's going on inside their house. They don't want them to see what's in their house. But that all goes along with trust issues. And if you really don't trust your neighbors, they're going to feel that because you're going to give that type of energy off. And that's not to say that you should, have them sitting on your couch and chilling, eating out of your refrigerator, and have their feet up in your hammock in your backyard and things like that. But just being cordial to your neighbors. When you come on the block or wherever you're coming from work or whatever, there's nothing wrong with saying hi to somebody or busting it up with them a little bit about whatever. You don't have to spend a lot of time. Just kick it. People remember that kind of thing, so when something happens to you, they know to look out. And a good neighbor really will look out. Let's say you're a fugitive from justice. A lot of people have, a lot of black people, especially black men, have issues with the law. So you might be home on probation or parole or something like that. And let's say you violated your parole or probation in some kind of way. And the man has come looking for you, knocking on your door. A good neighbor might tell him, nah, man, he don't live there no more. He ain't home, or I think he moved. And then he might call you at work or wherever you are and alert you to the fact that the authorities was coming to pick you up and tell you not to come home for a little while because you're going to find yourself going back upstate. Those are the things that neighbors will do for you when you're in good with them. And you want them to do that. Let's say you leave the house. You done left your house and you done left a pot on the stove. People do crazy stuff like that. It might let you know, yo, get your ass home and take that pot off the stove. I'm seeing some smoke coming from your crib. I want to do this before the fire department get here because the fire department will tear your house limb from limbs in the city of Philadelphia. I don't know about everywhere else, but you want to make sure that you, in order to protect your home, if you can put out a fire in another way, it's probably the best way to do it. Yeah, I ain't going to even get into that. But when neighbors are in bad with each other, they do each other in. If your neighbors don't like you, certain things can escalate. Certain things can turn volatile. Like let's say in the wintertime and you've shoveled out your parking space, and then your neighbor who you don't like, who you don't get along with, who don't look out for you, has parked in your spot. You ain't just gonna let that go. Those are situations where people's cars get new dents and keyed up, and sugar and salt in the gas tank and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to be part of that. And of course, those are extreme examples, but it happens. Things like property and land rights. You have a neighbor who has a tree, and the tree shavings go into their yard, and they have to clean it up, and you act like you don't care about that. They might call the city on you or the township and let them know that you need that tree cut down. Neighbors have poisoned each other's pets. Crazy stuff. It's a horrible thing to do, but people have done it. And these are the things you want to prevent from happening by your neighbors. So, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't hurt to extend a little cordiality towards your neighbors. Just speak. Kick it with them. Hey, how you doing? Hey, girl. Hey, what's up, my man? You know what I mean? Blah, blah. It ain't that hard. It don't cost nothing. It could cost you in the end for not doing that, though. It's not a threat. But look, whatever job you go to, they ask you if you work well with others. Well, maybe at home, your application should ask, do you live well with others? It is what it is. Be neighborly. Be neighborly. Sometimes, look, it's better to be able to feel safe when you're away from home, that your house is okay, and that things are going to be all right when you get home than be away, be scared that somebody that lives close to you is going to do you, and you don't want that. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and yo, be neighborly towards your neighbors. You ain't got to love them, but act like you like them and be down with them. You know what I mean? I have good neighbors. I live in a bad neighborhood per se. All excuse me, bad people make bad neighborhoods. Good people make bad neighborhoods a little bit better. And that's a good way to live by, I think. UrbanTherapyWithSon.com. Go to the website. That's what's up. The Daily Gogetemism show each and every day at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The call-in number is 347-677-1533. blogtalkradio.com/Sun752. That's how you get to the shows. The Urban Therapy with Sun show every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get at that. This weekend, this Wednesday, we talking about promiscuity. Promiscuity. Did you used to give it up or give it when you was younger? And has that ruined your life? Can you come back from that? Can you teach from that? Do you learn more about people from doing that? It's going to be hot. Make sure y'all get with us on Wednesday night. Yo, I will holler at y'all tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But, y'all have a great day. And, ain't no more to it. I holler.